You know the reason why you single? The reason why you single is because you constantly looking for love. That is probably the worst mistake you can make. And the reason why I say that, because the person that's for you, you won't have to search for. They'll be there, right? If they for you, they'll be there. And when you out looking for love like that, it's an act of, I'm gonna say, a little bit of being desperate, right? Um, and it's just the way that it is, because everybody wants to feel that companionship, right? Unless you just one of those people that don't care, right, about that type of thing. But a lot of people, they really want that compassion. Women like to be held at night. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. But the thing is, what you find yourself doing is you start to allow yourself to, like, just let anything go just for the sake of being in a relationship. And I see this a lot, right? I see this a lot. You compromise, right? Um, that's how you end up in abusive relationships. And I'm not talking about all physical. Um, every abusive relationship ain't physical. Sometimes it could be mental abuse, because you out here searching for love, and then you find somebody that just wants to have a possible, intimate encounter. They're not really looking for what you're looking for. And now but now you have made, you and got with this person, you liked them, you didn't really know everything about them when you first got with them, so you didn't know their full intentions. Now you find yourself in an intimate situation with the person. Now you care about the person, and now your feelings is involved with somebody that don't have the exact same goal in the relationship as you do. And then now it's hard to pull out. It's hard to get, then it can turn toxic. You see a lot of people, I see, and we all see a lot of relationships that look good on camera, but behind closed doors, it's arguing. It's you know some people hitting each other. No communication. Like, people that they not talking to each other. These things are too important in a relationship. You can't have a relationship without communication, right? And so what you end up doing is just constantly dating, dating, and all you finding is the things you don't like in people. And the reason why is because you searching. When you're not looking, that's when the person that you're supposed to be with, that's when they're gonna show up in your life. The person don't show up in your life just because you ready for love, right? Because you do have to protect your heart, right? Some people don't care about breaking your heart. Some people don't care about you. They only care about what they can get from you. So, that's why when I talk about women getting these BBLs and changing their body for these men, it's like the man you changing your body for ain't the type of man you want, right? Because the man that's really gonna love you whether you got a big behind, small behind, whether you thick in the hips, whether you super pretty, long hair, short hair, blonde hair, dark hair. They just gonna love you, right? And so now what you go do is you go get these things done. And I'm gonna tell you a story, because this is a true story of a friend of mine. They're twins, right? And they both don't have they're not shapely, but their face is gorgeous, right? And one of the twins said she wanted to get a BBL because the men not giving her enough attention. And I'm trying to tell her the same thing I'm telling you in this video. The right man is going to love you for you. He's not going to tell you to go get up under the knife and get a bigger behind so he can say he got a chick with a big behind. I mean, he's not going to do that. But however, she didn't listen. She went and did it, and now she regrets it, because all she gets is a bunch of men that want to have sex with her. Before, the excuse for a lot of these men was she pretty, but she ain't got no body. Now she got the body and she's pretty. Now she can't determine who wants her for her and who wants her just to have sex with her. So now she's disappointed and she's mad about it. But you never should have altered yourself in the first place, right? You made the way that you made. So let love find you, right? And just you keep living, you keep doing what you're doing, because you know, as you live in your life and you building whatever you building, you know, it'll come. But it'll come at the right time. It's not gonna come at your time. And that's where we all make mistakes. We think that our timing is God's time, and it's not. I don't care how pretty a woman is. If her character don't match, I don't want it, right? It doesn't really matter how you look if I can't communicate with you. If I'm talking to you and you want to have a screaming match when I want to have a conversation. I don't like arguing, right? But I do like to talk and have communication so we don't argue, because that's how you stop arguments, by talking. Because sometimes, I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong and think I'm right. Sometimes she can be wrong and think she right. But if we can't talk and we walking by each other and we not speaking because we just don't want to talk about it, and then we just go on the next day and then just continue to live our lives like nothing happened yesterday, those small things continue to break and break and break the relationship down, because y'all not being real with each other, right? And those things happen in a lot of these fake relationships, because I don't care how you look on camera, right? I can have on the best outfit, you can have on the best outfit, we can take some beautiful pictures together. But what's going on inside? What's going on when we at home? You know what I'm saying? Like, do we really love each other? Do we really like each other? Do we really want to spend time with each other? Because everything ain't just about intimacy. You gotta like the person that you're with. You gotta like spending time with them. You gotta like talking to them. You know what I'm saying? Because when you find a lot of people, I know a lot of people myself who don't like being home. Like, they married, but they don't like being home with their spouse. And I'm like, I would never want to live like that. I want to be at home with my spouse. I want to love spending time with my spouse. Why would I want to be in the streets when I got a wife at home? Now I'm up here giving these unnecessary women time that, for what? You understand what I'm saying? If I feel like that, then I probably shouldn't be in this relationship, because it makes no sense for me to say I'm in a relationship knowing I don't want to be in that relationship. Then when I go out here in the streets and I deal with another woman, now I'm considered cheating. Well, it is considered cheating, but the truth is, just be honest with the person and say, you ain't the one. I don't think that we're going to work out, right? And I'm sorry, but we don't mesh well. But the thing is these things happen because sometimes it's peer pressure. I was always told, well, I ain't gonna say I was told, but I heard a lot, like my family would say, friends, we gotta be married by the time we 30. We gotta be, and it's like, I always said, no, I don't. I'm gonna get married when she show up. And I meant it. Because I'm not gonna just get married just for the sake of time, because somebody says that by this time you should be married. That's not a reason to get married. You understand what I'm saying? That's not a reason to get married, because you should be married by a certain time. So who is successful? The person that gets married at 25 and gets divorced by 45, or the person that gets married at 45 and lives happily ever after, right? I would go with the latter, because you waited, right? I'm not saying that not to get married early, because if you find love at 22, you find love at 22. I'm not telling you can't, I'm not saying you can't, but what I'm saying is don't rush it if it's not there, because if it's not there, it's just not there. There's no reason to try to force some fake love, because it's not real love. That's why I always allow myself to stay by myself and like yourself, because some people don't know how to be alone. That's another thing too. Some people don't know how to be alone. So if you always need somebody around you, you got to question, do you like yourself? Because I don't need somebody around me all the time, right? I like company. I'm not a hermit. I'm not like, oh, I'll just stay. No, I'm not like that. but I don't need people around me at every given second. Like, I gotta have a woman around me all the time. I don't need all the noise. Because the more noise you have, the more spirits you let in, the more confusion you got going on in your life. Like yourself, challenge yourself. Shoot, if you got to, challenge yourself and see if you can, be single, or just don't deal around with nobody for a minute. It'll clear your mind. You know what I'm saying? It will clear your mind, as opposed to always feeling like you have to be in this long, you got to be in this relationship that looks a certain way, but it's not that way. You faking yourself out because you only get one life, okay? Why waste it with people that it shouldn't be there? I'm just gonna say shouldn't be there. You understand what I'm saying? So just stop looking for love. Let it come to you. It will come if your heart in the right place. But if you looking for a man as he gotta have this kind of car, he gotta have this kind of money, he gotta have this kind of house, or she gotta have this kind of body, she gotta have these kind of eyes, she gotta have this kind of hair, she gotta have it. Like, if you come in with all these prerequisites, you don't even need to be in a relationship at all. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, yeah, you should have standards. Standards is not an issue, but it's the person first. Some things can be worked on. You know what I'm saying? Some things can be worked on, but some things can't, right? Sometimes, like, you got people that's selfish. Selfish people, that's a problem for me, right? If I get with you and you're really selfish, I don't think I'll be able to deal with you like that because I'm really giving, right? So that's the type of person I am. So if we're in a relationship and we see somebody going through a hardship, and I'm like, hey, we gonna help them out. We ain't about to help them. We ain't doing that. That's their problem. See, then now we're gonna have a problem because I feel like if the Most High blessed me to bless somebody, then I'm a blessing. But if I'm dealing with somebody that's saying, nah, what's ours is ours and what's they problems is their problems, then we're gonna have a problem because I got a different type of heart, which means it's a possibility that we unequally yoked. You understand what I'm saying? You shouldn't have to argue about everything. You're not, and don't think that you're gonna get in a relationship and not argue, because you are. That's a real thing. It's not arguments ain't always bad, but the thing is, it's healthy arguments. You know what I'm saying? Not arguments where you talking down on the person, calling each other names. That's not an argument. That's no love. That's disrespect. We talking about trying to get a point across. You understand what I'm saying? So, but that you do that. Like, understand that. Understand that you don't need to look for love. The right person will find you. Okay? They gonna find you. You don't have to have anything that people say you gotta have. Be who you are. The person that's for you will love you. Okay? So with that being said, this is The Real Conversation with Gregg James. If you feel what I'm talking about, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.